Here's an unpopular opinion. Your traditional corporation might have flat revenue or is not growing as fast as you want it to for a number of reasons, but one of those reasons might be not as obvious as you thought, and it might be actually the root cause of the issues. Does your process of getting the IT-related projects out look like this when your sales and marketing meet, talk, figure out the plan, and then they talk to IT and they tell IT that this is what we need to build in the next 12 months for our customers? And then IT goes back to their room. They start building this stuff, and it always takes longer than anticipated, and nobody's happy. You get some half-baked solution, sometimes okay, sometimes half-baked. You roll it out, it gets low adoption, something's not right, or perhaps not as good as you thought it would be. Then you start arguing, and IT is the one to blame typically in those situations. So basically, if your business and marketing dictate what needs to be created and IT is just an executor in the process, then that is your root cause for all the issues that you see with your flat revenue and slow growth. It's not the only issue, but it's one of the major ones. Here's why. If you look at any company that is really successful, take the top leaders, right? You take Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, you name it, any company that is successful, and you rewind the time back to when the company was starting, you will clearly see a pattern. And the pattern is always the same. An engineer or someone with engineering background that saw a gap in the market, decides to create a solution with the help of a couple of friends. They together build something that then they decide how to sell. But they first build the solution, and then they find people to sell it, and they find customers. Every company you look at that is successful, that would be the pattern. Now, if you look at your organization, and I see this on LinkedIn, by the way, all the time, people preach this stuff that business and marketing, corporate business leaders who understand the values and who understand the needs of the field need to create a compelling, innovative strategy so that IT would go and implement that stuff. Don't you think it's actually in reverse? Because every time I talk to a CIO or CTO of a traditional corporation doing 100 million plus, the conversation is always the same. We know what needs to be done. Marketing and business come up with hollow, non-needle moving stuff all the time. But it looks fancy on paper, but it's not what the customers need. It turns out that most IT leaders, technology leaders, CIOs and CTOs, they actually know what the company needs to build in order to move the needle and make the customers happy. But they can't, because the process is different. IT is the executor, and marketing and sales are the drivers for success and innovation. While if you look at successful companies that are really killing it, you will clearly see that sales and marketing are supplemental departments that help to sell digital products and services the company builds for their customers. And that's how it's supposed to be. Technology leaders and technology teams have a very good understanding of what their customers need, how they're using the products, what the patterns are, how many subscriptions, how many canceled, how many subscribed, where people spend most time on the website or in the app. They have all the data. They analyze the data all the time. If you ask a marketing or sales leader about any of that stuff, they will have to request that information from IT. That's not the level they operate on. If you ask IT, they know all that stuff. Do they have a say? They do have a seat at the strategy meeting, but they don't have a say in terms of, hey, let's build this instead of that. And then you guys will help us sell and market this. I've never heard any feedback like this from a traditional company because the process is in reverse. Today, I want to urge you to look into this issue if you are in the same boat, because it is super counterintuitive to ask people who are not building stuff and who are not talking to customers, who do not have the data. It's counterintuitive to ask them, what should we build? And it's absolutely logical to ask people who do have the data, who talk to the customers, and who can create a solution okay, what should our next step be? How can we innovate our company further? What other tools do you think our customers need? How can we make our internal employees more efficient? What solutions do you envision to make our company competitive compared to that company? Technology departments can't answer those questions. They have the answers. It's just that no one's asking them. And they're not speaking up either. I'm not saying, oh, they're victims. They've created this situation. They brought this on themselves by accepting the new reality. And that's one of the things that I urge you to change in your companies, because this will turn things around a lot quicker. Show me a single company that started with a marketing director or a sales director without a product. But I'll show you 1,000 companies that started with engineers building stuff. And just that simple example, that foundation should already tell you how your process needs to be built in order for you to start moving the needle. Because without it, no wonder you're flat for years. No wonder you're not growing as much as you wanted to. No wonder your website, your app, your systems look like a maze to your customer, because that's not how it's done. So yeah, again, just like the name of the podcast suggests, lead with tech. Thanks for watching.